Hello, friends. Welcome to this series. Today is Wednesday, and we try to give you very positive messages, business messages every Wednesday. And we actually utilize the power of some of the powerful words, the strength behind these powerful words that we use in our day to day language. And, these true meaning of the powerful words will have profound effect on your personality, on your business. And therefore today we have chosen the word M. I mean the words which are starting with the alphabet M. So let's continue our journey, and this is a live show. We are actually streamed live on all social media platforms. So if you want to engage with the program, you can actually send chat messages. Use the chat function in the social media, whichever social media you're watching us from and whichever part of the world. So let's proceed further. The first word in our list is meaningful. It starts with M, and whatever you do as a CEO, as a leader, has to have some meaning behind it. And don't do things which others are doing. Before you embark on any project, anything that you do, you must ask yourself, is it meaningful for you? And therefore the meaningful word is very, very powerful. It starts with M, and many people keep doing things which others keep telling them. Even when you read books and the global gurus tells you to do things their way, but it may not be meaningful for you. So before you take any action in your team, in your company, you have to ask yourself how relevant that step would be for you, how meaningful that will be for you, and will it give you desired results. And if you are able to think in that manner, you will be able to take the right steps achieving your goals. Therefore meaningful, true meaning is, for especially for business people and leaders, is to think why they are doing that activity. So moving on, mature is again very powerful word. These are very normal words that I have taken, but I'm trying to give value around the true meaning behind these simple words which we use in our day-to-day language, and how we can actually follow the true meaning. And therefore mature is again a very powerful word, starts with M. And when we say mature, it's not that hey, you have to behave in a mature manner. Your thinking must be mature. In my opinion, if you are a leader, you must demonstrate, or you must think that you have some sort of market knowledge. And therefore another powerful word, knowledge, that we have covered when we discuss K. But mature basically means that you must have a thorough knowledge so that you can take mature decisions, well thought through steps to do a project. And that is why it is important for everyone to collect as much knowledge about the subject matter so that they can think in a very, very holistic manner. So mature is that you don't have to look mature, you have to think mature. And that is the true meaning of this word, which is very meaningful for business people and for leaders. Moving on, you must have morals. And when we talk about these powerful words, the honesty, another powerful word. We covered honesty when we talk H words, but today the chance is for M words. So anything that you do must have things like what is right, what is wrong. Whether you take a decision, it should not rub certain people in the wrong way. It should not violate the law. It should not create bad blood among communities and things like that. So there has to be a red line that you must draw. And going back to the previous word, which is mature, so you must have maturity to understand the legal system, financial system, You must have the maturity to understand the nuances of society. You must have maturity to understand, if you take this decision, is it going to bother your neighbor, or is it going to bother your employees or your team member? So you must have some sort of a red line drawn in your actions. And that is why moral is a very, very important word. It helps you to control your actions. I mean, it's not only that you must have, it will also help you to limit your action. Otherwise, there's no end. There is, you continue working, and obviously, if you're working for an organization, or if you're a leader of a business community, uh, the whole objective of business person is to generate revenue. But if you don't have these red lines defined, then you can continue doing as long as you keep making money, and without the top line defined, without crossing a borderline, Lakshman Lekha, as we say in India. So you must have certain threshold which you will not cross, and this is what is very important, very, very important, to keep your credibility, a long run credibility, business credibility. You must do, you must follow, you must have certain morals or good values. Now, mentor, very common word. You must be hearing a lot many things about mentorship and all that. But who's the real mentor? The mentor is the person who does not impose himself on his team member. The mentor is somebody who, rub off his knowledge so that the team member can think for themselves. For instance, in this picture, I'm trying to show that the mentor is the old man, whereas the young person is pulling himself up. The old man is not pushing the person from and trying to help him. He is only showing the technique so that the young person can pull himself up on his own. So the mentor is somebody who actually creates the right environment for the team member so that they can create their own journey. They can learn from you and take their own decision. And that is the true meaning of mentorship. So it is not that I will give you 10 steps and you follow these 10 steps and voila, you will get success. This is not the mentorship. So mentor is, you are able to transfer the good values into your team members, into your family members, into your children. And that is what the mentor word is all about. Starts with M. Think about it, friends. This is again a very powerful word, highly used in our day-to-day language, but the true meaning has to be followed. I'm sure a lot of people are following this in true way, but then if you're not doing that, then I think this is something which will help you steer in the right direction. Then when you start your project as a CEO, as a leader, you must learn to mobilize your team. Now, when you say mobilize, it's not that you collect these people. You have to identify what activity will be taken care by each person in the team, and that therefore you have to break down your project plan into individual project plans for the team member. Now, this applies to every level of leadership. If you are a CEO, you must have a much larger horizon to look at. You must mobilize a larger team, larger pyramid. But if you are a team leader also, you may have a smaller team, but you will have to then mobilize and divide the task in such a manner that you have selected the right person for the right activity. And that is the overall meaning of mobilization. Mobilization is not only collecting people and giving them speeches. It is basically creating a project plan and identifying the key skill sets of each team member so that you don't have extra team members, and everybody has a job. Everybody's job is interdependent, interlocked with each other, so that the team, the right number of team members are there, and that will make your team very efficient and your project will run very smoothly. And that is why all the business leaders must understand the true meaning of Mobilize. It is, much more than just collecting people. Very important word. Every guru talks about motivate. Motivate is sort of abused today, but there are people who use this word and they do not know how to motivate their children themselves. So that is why this is a very heavy word. I would say that motivate is a very heavy word. And I will take you back to mentor. So mentors and mentorship and motivate are sort of interrelated. So when you are trying to mentor a person or mentor your team, you are actually trying to motivate. You're not giving them a solution. For example, if you're learning math and you're giving a math problem to a kid, hey, do this math. What's the point in telling the child that if you add 2 plus 2 you'll get 4? So you don't want to tell the answer 4 upfront, but you want to give motivation so that they come up with the right answer. So that is why the whole mathematics study is not about giving the answers. It's about taking the steps. You ask the person who's solving the problem to state all the steps, and that is the part of motivation. This is just one example. So mentorship is directly related to motivate. So if you are a good motivator, you are also a good mentor, and therefore without giving the solution, without imposing yourself, you are actually asking your team member to come up in life. And also when you mobilize your team member, I'm going back one slide back, you are asking each team member to give their own plan to solve the project or whatever activity you have assigned to them. And this is what the motivation is all about. So you are motivating them to think out of the box, and when they're thinking out of the box, you are correcting, you are doing the course correction, but you're not imposing yourself. And this is why between mentor, mobilize and motivate, there is a lot of relationship between these three words itself, which are starting with M. Then I come across this situation every day, 6 times in a day. People come to me and say that, hey, can you help me sell this stuff? And I ask them this question that how much money you have sunk into this? So whatever you do should be marketable. And to understand what is marketable, that means, if you're a private company, you have to generate revenue yourself to able to sustain your own company or your own team. Therefore, it has to be profitable. But if you have something in your pocket which nobody wants, then your offering is not marketable. So very important information I want to give to the leaders and the CEO, that whatever you do, before you embark the journey of creating your services or your products or offering, you must check whether these services and offerings are marketable. Now, this is not only related to today's market, because suppose you're creating an offering for your company and think that it has to be marketable after 6 months or 1 year. So you start your activity to identify whether this offering or this product is marketable, but after 6 months, people will eventually end up buying that. And the timing has to be absolutely crystal clear. You are checking the market for the marketability for something which will start selling 6 months down the line. But that marketability, depends on the product. Each product has a different marketability. For example, food material, it has a very good marketability because as long as your food product has a shelf life, it will sell. But there are certain services which may not be relevant after 2 years. So your marketability of your offering is very closely defined with your plan. And therefore, don't commit a mistake of first creating an offering, then going to the market. I think you must go to the market, tell the market, identify top 100 clients, probable clients, who will eventually buy your offerings after 6 months. You start your sales and marketing plan today and parallelly start developing your offerings, and then you will be successful after 6 months. But I'm sure at least 60 to 70% CEOs today don't do this, and that is why a lot of startups fail. And why startups? Even the coffee shop fails because they will open a coffee shop in an area where there are no coffee drinkers. So I think the marketability is a very, very deep word, especially for leaders and for CEOs. And think, friends, before you start creating your company, first check the marketability of your idea itself. And if you're able to do all this, you're able to create a master plan for mentorship, create a marketing plan. You will actually create a masterpiece. And then if your product is very popular, you may become the owner of a unicorn. So that is why masterpiece is also a very powerful word, and this is something which must drive you to do all the previous things that we discussed today. Think that whatever you're trying to create has to be world class. It has to be really, really awesome offering, and therefore the masterpiece is your masterpiece, your expertise, and this will also help you identify which are your sweet spots. What is something that you can do, and you can do much better than rest of the 1,000 people? Because if somebody else is doing some software development, you're also doing software development, it doesn't mean that if he's successful, you'll also be successful. You have to identify what is the best thing that you do in software which nobody else can copy. And that is what the masterpiece is all about. The true meaning of masterpiece is identifying your strength, your sweet spots, your marketability. And therefore, you must focus as a leader, as a CEO, on creating these masterpieces, on creating these unicorns. Very important, my friends. And if you're able to do all this for your organization, the last word on our list, starting with M, is magical. The success and the rise of your company and your startup would be is not less than something magical. You will be able to create a very awesome offering, awesome company, awesome team, and the whole effect, the whole environment will be magical. When people come and work for you, they will like to work, come over to your office and work. They will like to be dedicated, they will like to be loyal, and this is the magical environment that you have been able to create. So magical is not that some magician is coming and waving the wand and something comes out of thin air. The magical moment is that you have to do lot of background work so that the end effect of that is magical. The cogs of different entities in your company mesh together very nicely, and they work together to create that magic. That is the whole meaning of the magical. So friends, we went live with this, and there are a few messages also, and today we covered power words starting with M. If you have watched us live, great, you can send us your messages live, or if you're going to watch this video later, please engage with us, send in your thoughts and your comments, and I will meet you again next Wednesday with another series of power words which are useful for business people and leaders. So as always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.